he's billowing up more omen on the end of his glaive, and him and Loki are clashing head to head this time, counter each other. Emu seems to flip up above over top of Loki. Loki's like, "Oh crap." And Emu is now pointing down, and he has the end of his glaive now has looks like there's like a large guard on it now, and then there's still a little thing of black fire. Okay, let's keep going. Blade of Judgment Nemesis? What is that? What is that? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, first of all, he just pierces straight down through Loki in his like chest, collarbone, shoulder area. Okay, at least it's not like the heart. Okay, there's a lot. There's a lot to say here. Okay, I can already see it. I can see it. It's the, the Mihawk upscale. Mihawk upscale. Oh boy. Okay, few things to say here that just come to mind. First of all, this move actually to bring up Mihawk here, this move looks very reminiscent of like what he hit the attack he did during Marineford when he was like trying to hunt Luffy down, like where he literally comes in from the top and spears the ice, but Luffy dodges it. This looks so similar to that move. Second, the blade the blade appears the blade is black, okay? And it says Blade of Judgment Nemesis. So, first thing first, could this be a legitimate black blade? Yes. The only reason that I, at least for me, hold some sort of contention is the fact that everything we've seen, because this is the opposite end of his glaive, because we see, well, it's actually really tough because we don't see the other end for most of this fight so far. But the other end is what has the kind of glaive sickle type of blade on it. So this is coming out of the end that is the, yeah, okay. So if we go to the previous page, I'm looking here. Yes, okay. So the glaive side doesn't change of his weapon. So that blade stays there. And everything else he's doing with the Omen ability is coming out of the black flame at the other end of the staff portion. And everything we've seen that comes out of that other end is just naturally black because of the Omen ability. So this blade is coming out of that same end as the black flame. So is this, and this is just a question, I don't know. Is this blade actually a black blade and he's like summoning it out of the Omen flames? Or is this blade created from the Omen flames and like constructed into a blade? So then, of course, it would be black because it's constructed of the Omen ability. If that I hope that makes sense. So is he like summoning this blade? Because it's still part of the same weapon that has an actual bladed glaive at the other end. So I'm just curious because of course I can like I said, there's definitely some ties to Mihawk here, and this may lend to the whole fan theory that I'm actually not opposed to of him potentially being related to Emu. I think that would be very interesting for his character. It could also explain how him and Shanks actually originally met each other, and maybe where their duels originated was actually the Holy Land because that's where they're both from. So there's a lot of potential here. Obviously, the eyes, the ringed eyes, I mean, there is definitely some connections here, and the blade nemesis itself looks similar esque to Yoru, not of course like a 1-to-1. And he's doing the same move here on Loki. So I'm not going to jump to any conclusions here, but there's Oda is potentially setting up some ties here for Mihawk, and I'm all for it. Now, of course, like I said, the power scaling implications of this are interesting because you have Emu here who has a blade. Let's say for this argument's sake, it's not from his omen power, but it is actually him summoning a black blade that he himself possesses. He himself turned black, and this is something he's always had. This is where the title of World's Strongest Swordsman, like people are gonna be like, this, Mihawk upscale. But I don't think there's any single person on this planet, at least I hope not. Maybe like the ultimate Mihawk fanboys. I don't think anybody's going to argue that Mihawk is going to be stronger than Emu. So if this is truly a black blade, then this this illegitimize I can't even say it. It makes Mihawk's title illegitimate. Now, you could definitely say that, well, Emu resides in the Holy Land. Nobody even knows he exists. So, of course, the title of World's Strongest Swordsman is only reserved for the people of, the lower realm, which I actually think that makes complete logical sense here. But this, if we are including everybody in the series and this is a black blade, Mihawk is definitely not the world's strongest swordsman. if that is truly a black blade.